Hello, everybody. So in today's lesson, we're going to be talking about measuring area on lesson 11.5. And by the end of this lesson, you should be able to tell how you can find the area of a plane figure. We are on page 469 of your textbook, your third grade Go Math textbook. And some of the materials you'll need for this lesson is 1-inch grid paper, if you have that. If not, you can always just trace this shape. Okay. And you'll need about 8 of these squares. So you can trace 8 on any piece of paper and then cut them out. Okay. So it says cut out 8 1-inch squares. All right. So Jamie is measuring the area of the rectangles with 1-inch square tiles. And it says place 4 tiles on rectangle A. Okay. I assume if you're following along here at this point that you've already made your tiles or you're just watching me do it. All right, so place 4 tiles using the dashed lines as guides. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. Are there any gaps? Yeah. There's a gap here, gap there. Are there any overlaps? No, the white squares aren't crossing over anything, so no. Jamie says that the area is 4 square inches. Is Jamie's measurement correct? No, if we're measuring all of A, area covers the entire surface inside of a figure. Jamie's leaving out these 2 yellow parts, so no. All right. So when you measure area, there can be no space between the tiles or no gaps. All right, so no gaps when we're measuring area. All right, now it says place 8 tiles on rectangle B. Again, we'll move those down. Okay. We'll put 2 there. They want us to put 8, huh? Okay. All right. So are there any gaps? This is not a gap. It's just because it's loose. No, there aren't any gaps. Are there any overlaps? Yeah, this one overlaps this one. This one overlaps this one. So yeah, there are overlaps. So Jamie says that the area is 8 square inches. No, she's got too much here, right? She's covering up other things that she shouldn't be. So no, she's not correct. So the next point that we need to know is that when you measure area, the tiles cannot overlap. So they can't, when we're counting, they can't sit on top of each other. Okay? They have to be no gaps and not overlapping. Okay? No gaps, no overlaps. All right, now it says place 6 tiles in rectangle C. Okay, when you did that, are there any gaps? No, there's you can see a little yellow, but that's not really a gap. That's just more of a situation where it's not exactly in the yellow square. So no, there aren't any gaps. Are there any things overlapping? No, they seem to be right up against the edges of them. So Jamie says that the area is 6 square inches. Is Jamie's measurement correct? Yeah, there are 6 squares here, right? So yes. So the area of the rectangle is 6 square inches. Okay. So that's one activity. So in that activity, we learned that the area of a figure cannot have any gaps when we're counting, and it also cannot overlap. We can't have squares overlapping each other. Okay. So the squares need to be sitting right next to each other and not overlapping. No space, no overlaps. All right, so for activity 2, you're going to need, they want us to use blue and green tiles, paper for this activity. Okay. And so I've taken the time to prepare these ahead of time for myself. And so I've made, they asked me to make 10 of these. So I traced and made 10 of those. Okay. And then they also wanted me to make half-inch squares by tracing. And I did that. And it wanted me to make 36 of those. Okay. So if you're going to take the time to do those, I would push pause. And after you've made 10 blue squares, 1-inch squares, and made 36 1/2-inch squares, you can come back and complete the activity. So part 1, step 1, says estimate the number of blue squares it will take to cover the gray figure. Well, let's see. It's about 2 of my fingers wide. 1, 2, 3. Let's say 3. 3 and then 1, 2, so 6. I'm going to say 6 blue squares. It's just an estimate. Okay. Estimate the number of green tiles it will take. Okay, well, that's only 1 finger. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 across. 1, 2, 3, 4 down. 8 times 4. I'm going to say 32. I'm saying 8 times 4. What did I do again? I took the width of the half-inch square and just kind of guessed how many times it would go across and how many it would go down. So I'm figuring 8 by 4. Now, trace the blue square pattern 10 times and cut out the squares. Trace the green squares and cut out the 36 times and cut out the squares. Cover the gray figure with blue square tiles. Count and write the number of blue square tiles you use. Record the area of the figure. All right, so now, in our previous activity, we learned that we can't have any gaps and we can't have squares overlap. So, all right, so we can put 2 down, 2 rows. How many can we fit going across? 2, 3, 4 across. 2 rows of 4, it looks like. Okay, so 2 rows of 4 cover the gray area. So that's 8 blue square tiles. And so the area is 8 blue square units. All right. Now cover the gray figure with green tiles. Do you think it's going to take more green or more blue? Well, I think it's going to take me a lot more green. Let's see. I'm going to go all the way across first. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, so my guess was right, going 8 across. Okay. The littler ones are a little hard to keep lined up, but we're going to do our best. So 8 straight across, and how many down? 2, 3, 4 down. Yep. So it's going to be an 4 by 8. This would probably be easy to cover if we could glue them down. But we've already seen that it's going to be 4 rows of 8 because there's 8 going across the top. So every row will have 8 tiles. Okay, so I know you can see kind of the blues underneath there, but those aren't gaps. That's just the matter of not being able to get them exactly straight without moving them as you go across. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. 32 gray tiles. So 32 green square units. So it takes 4 times as many blues, 4 times as many green square units as blue square units. And in fact, it will take 4 of the green tiles for every 1 blue. Okay. All right. Now, now try this. Count to find the area of the figure. So what we were doing in that activity was basically setting out these square units. So all we have to do is count square units. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This isn't shaded, so there's no green squares there. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 unit squares. So that means there's 17 square centimeters. Each square is 1 square centimeter. Okay, so let's move on. Let's try some more now. Okay, so count to find the area of the figure. Each unit square is 1 square centimeter. All right, 1, 2. So just count them, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if there's 10 unit squares, each square is 1 square centimeter. There's 10 square centimeters. Number 2, count to find the area of the figure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So in number 2, there's 20 square centimeters. Number 3, just number all the squares again. Okay, I have 10 square centimeters. Number 4, count to find the area of the figure. Each unit square is 1 square inch. So 8 square inches. 5, 6 square inches. Number 6, Danny is placing tiles on the floor of an office lobby. Each tile is 1 square meter. The diagram shows the lobby. What is the area of the lobby? 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 square meters. Okay, number 7. Angie is painting a space shuttle mural on a wall. Each section is 1 square foot. The diagram shows the unfinished mural. How many more square feet has Angie painted than not painted? Angie painted, then not painted. So how many has she painted? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 16. I see 16 painted. How many are not painted? 2, right? 2 are not painted. So how many more square feet? 14. All right, number 8. You measure the area of a tabletop with blue unit squares and green unit squares. Which unit square will give you a greater number of square units for area? Well, we just kind of did that, right? We said there was one of those and that it would take 4 of the little ones, right, to equal a square. So in our second activity, we had an area that covered 8 square inches versus the other one that was 32 units. So which one's going to give me a greater number of square units? The green squares. It takes 4 green squares for every 1 blue square. So there will be 4 times All right, so the green squares. It takes 4 green squares for every 1 blue square. So there's going to be 4 times as many green square units as blue square units. All right, and number 9. How many squares need to be added to this figure so that it has the same area as a square with a side length of 5 units? Well, okay, so right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 long, right? But right now it's only 2 high. So let's use some dash boxes. That's 3, 4, 5. So I have to add 3 there, 3 there, on this side, I mean. This side has 3, so we can go 2, okay? So if we did that, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to add 3 plus how many in this row? In this column? 1, 2, 3, and we had to add 2 more. In this one, we had to do 2 more. In the fourth one, we added 2 more. And in the last one, we added 3. So if we want something that has an area of 5 by 5, this is how many we have to add. We add 3 rows here. We add 2 rows here, 2 here, 2 here, and then 3 here. So 3 plus 2 is 5. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 3. 5 and 4 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. So we need to add 12 squares. Let's see if that makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. 12 squares. If we add 12 squares, we would have 5 rows of 5. Okay. So that's it for lesson 11.5. In the next lesson, we're going to practice using area models. So until then, may the numbers always be in your favor.